One of the successful writer whose TRP in the serial world was on top. And one fine day, he goes to doctor because he was feeling uneasiness, and because he's a family doctor, तो डॉक्टर ने उनको पूछता है अगर आपको जिंदा रहना है तो मेरी बात आपको माननी पड़ेगी. And he says you have to stop doing what you are doing right now, right this moment. My dear friends, ये सिनारियो ऐसा है कि उनका health is also at stake, and at the same time career is also at the stake. And the third scenario, third situation is because his daughter is also there, is about to get married, and he had to, earn much more than what he was earning so that he can really uh, arrange the marriage for the daughter. And this is the scenario. और डॉक्टर तो बोलता है आपको आगे ये जो काम कर रहे हो वो कर नहीं सकते, एंड फॉर हीज लाइफ सेक नाउ उनको वो जॉब छोड़ना पड़ा. My dear friends, now this was the scenario when I had an opportunity to meet that person in the year 2010. And in fact, I had an opportunity to go to his farmhouse, and we had a great interactions in the evening. And that is the moment he shared this situation in his life. Can you imagine? Health is also at a stake, career is also at a stake, and the third scenario I'll be explained. Now, what in this scenario, what a person should be doing, right? Obviously, he took a decision to stop what he's doing at that moment. But what about the living? Is the scenario, right? So, why am I sharing this? Is this really made me to think a lot and to create this video, because after this 2010 and I left IT industry, and in fact I started my own, and that's how my entrepreneur journey also started. Along with that, I used to conduct lots of workshops, right? I used to conduct a lot of workshops and lot of interaction with the business owners, business heads, marketing heads, and students rather. So a lot of interaction, and they used to share sometimes when one-on-one about their life experiences. And what I'm wanted to share in this video is that it is my understanding and interaction. Most of the scenario, most of the cases, what is really happening, I thought of putting all this together to make you understand. And I want you to identify yourself where you stand in this particular explanation, right? So ultimately we have to be successful in our life whatever we are doing, but we will be facing a lot of obstacles or the uncertainties in our life, and we need to overcome that, and we need to be successful in this. So outcome of my interaction with thousands of people, what I really found out is I was just keeping all those things in a PPT के form में. Actually I just एक PPT मैंने बनाया, and वो PPT के through I just wanted to share with you. Let's understand what the real typical life cycle of a person. And जब वो सिनारियो आता है जिंदगी में कि kind of a your health is at stake, or your career is at stake, or both at stake, and that is the moment you think back and what went wrong and what should be doing. But most of the scenario मेरा interaction में ऐसा हुआ है कि that career, when they stopped, they don't know what exactly need to be done beyond that. This is the typical scenario which I have come across, and I was also part of that scenario also. So let me just take you through one of the PPT. Let's understand from the basic, and then probably we will learn something. And I want you to identify where you stand in this particular story, right? So let me just take you through the PPT. Well, friends, here is the graph which I tried my to put it across using this graph to some extent. Let me see how successful I'll be here to make you understand using this graph. Now, let me just explain from this graph itself, right? So imagine at this juncture, a person becomes a graduate, and normally he had to experience want to like struggle be there to get a job and to sustain in the job also, right? So it takes on normally 1 to 4 years of his lifetime, and once he achieves this, normally what happens is he will be living his normal life. When I say normal life, probably he or will not be really struggling for basic needs. That basic needs are taken care. That's where I call it as a normal life. Now, apparently, what happens, I'll tell you. Once these basic needs are achieved, now there is something very interesting happens here. Now, the day he is reaching the normal life and through this career, his career graph will anyway go up. But at this juncture, there is no real learning really happens. You might be asking now, what is this real learning? So we will definitely deal or understand that in the later part of this video. But just understand the job के साथ साथ there is something real learning also is really required for a human being to uh, be safe in his lifetime. तो क्या है हम लोग बाद में डील करेंगे. Now normally at this juncture he will stop learning. That the real learnings will not happen at this juncture. And what happens after 1 or 4 years, this thing you are leading a very absolutely normal life, and we are all human beings. We want to go to the next level of our life, right? That's where the aspiration comes into picture. Probably the aspiration can be, there is no limit for it. So I'm just trying to put 1 or 2 words here just to make you understand the concept what normally aspiration is all about. But it is not restricted to what I'm sharing here now. सो हम लोग जब बोलते हैं कि मोर एस्पिरेशंस मतलब क्या है, करियर में वो ग्रो होना चाहता है, मे बी नेक्स्ट लेवल में उसको जाना रहता है बिकॉज ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल नीड. हाउ डज इट कम? Like probably he want to buy a car, probably he want to book a house for himself, for the first house or second house, or some other kind of a luxury he want to really experience it. That's how he get into this mode. And what happens because of this, to meet these aspirations, obviously he had to take more responsibility or rather work hard so that he can grow there in his career, right? तो क्या होता है कि when because of these aspirations, because his kind of a considerably successful career is happening, and with this speed he will start again working continuously without thinking much, and he will be achieving whatever he is doing, he aspired for, right? Now there is something really interesting happens. Now from here to here, imagine that this is the journey of maybe 12 years or 13 years or 15 years. So there is something happens in most of the cases, right? Now in most of the scenario, this is all what I'm trying to share is the people with a variety of experience from 8 years to 15, 20 years, 20 to 25, even 25 years of experience, people shared it. So I'm just generalizing here. This is like maybe around 14, 15 years of experience. Probably his health is at stake because he was working so hard that he was not taking care of himself, or career is at a stake because at this juncture most of the companies nowadays they are not keeping the highly experienced people for whatever reasons, right? We all know that, because we all know that. I don't want to elaborate there. There are many reasons here, but the kind of a career opportunity starts diminishing, and because of this scenario people lose the job also, right? Now this is the juncture when something really happens. He sits back and he looks back, sit and look back, and he thinks that he was phenomenally doing great, but wrong here. He starts thinking and this is the moment he's clueless what to do next. Why he is feeling this what to do next is because he is not he never thought in terms of the real learning. You remember I said about the real learning. What is that real learning? Actually, he should have really literally learned at this stage itself. When he would probably, when he learned the real learning at this, during this period itself, then this downturn, probably the probability of getting this downturn of his life would have been reduced drastically. Okay, rather, right? So now at this juncture, he says, now I have so many years of experience, but the job opportunity is not there. But when the job opportunity is not there, he is literally clueless what to do in his life. Why this scenario comes? Because he never learned the real learning, what he should have learned in this situation. This is exactly what the real problem is with the most of the people. The interesting part I want to share here, even he realizes I need to learn, and he starts learning the real learnings after so many years of experience. And the smart people, literally they learn, and when they learn, actually their actual real growth start for those people. Okay, now there are some kind of people who don't want to learn because they have so many years of experience, and they become uh, they are not willing to learn, or uh, rather they are stuck. Maybe because I would like to say sometimes it is because they were in the comfort zone, they stop learning at this age. They don't feel normally they will say that ये ऐसे ये जो एज है इसमें इसमें मुझे क्या सीखना है, normally people tend to get into this mindset. उन लोगों का क्या होता है कि there are situation where the boss is not learning, and he gets into this no no when no learnings are happening, he typically what happens is he will hit the normal life, lesser normal life in most of the cases. I have really witnessed, because they shared about their life. ये होता है. Smartness तभी आता है कि whenever you realize there is something which need to learn, and quickest decision लेके जो सीखता है, यहाँ से उसका real growth शुरू होता है. क्योंकि why I say it is a real growth here, it is an accumulation of so many years of experience, and from here to here you realized actually what you should have really focused on, right? So those are the areas you will be learning related to it. If you are a marketing person, probably you will learn, you will identify your what is your core strength actually, right? And if you are a doctor, if you, not the doctor, any career, right? So if you will realize the real core potential about yourself, because now at this juncture you really sit back and think about it, and you work on it. You really put a lot of effort here to relearn about something new, and that's where the real growth starts. Okay, typically, now can you see here, when no learning at this juncture, it comes when still the real learning, really literally the life will give you the scenario to sit back at least now to think what you should be doing in the real sense. Okay, so let me just share about the writer which I shared. Now, at this juncture, the writer was experiencing both career and health were at stake. उनको डॉक्टर ने और एक सजेशन दिया था. क्या है कि because when anybody is writing a serial, right? Serial में क्या होता है कि always he should be thinking a negative scenario all the time, negative conversation, negative situations, and negative situation needs to be created through his mind, and consistently is writing, and his mind is always thinking negative, right? So that has really impacted his health, and he never realized that. Now, he never realized until he hit this scenario. And you might really want to relate with yourself also. हम लोग कभी कभी क्या होता है, हम लोग भाग रहे, right? होता है ना. And one fine day, all of a sudden, even though you are doing phenomenally great, and your company will give you a pink slip to you, and you really wonder now what really happened. But that is not important. This is the all known scenario. बट वो जंक्शन पे आपको आगे क्या करना है, इतना आप, you will become entangled with so many things and you don't know what really needs to be done. This is exactly what happens because you stop learning from at this juncture itself. Okay, this is the fundamental problem wherein it happens and people are clueless. Now, to cut the story short, now I would like to share what this writer did. Ultimately, उनको तो छोड़ना ही था. तो अगर करना है तो क्या करना है? Then he decided to start writing the positive stories, right? So that he can create it and he can give it to offer it to the world so that he can start making the life again. So since it was पॉजिटिव स्टोरीज, एंड नॉर्मली क्या होता है कि अगर सीरियल में आप पॉजिटिव स्टोरीज लिखना शुरू करोगे तो उसमें एक जब कंफ्लिक्ट उतना नहीं मिलता है, देन द इंटरेस्ट विल नॉट बी देयर. सो प्रोड्यूसर्स विल वेर नॉट actually coming to him when he decided to write a positive stories. प्रोड्यूसर उनके पास आना छोड़ दिया क्योंकि वो in a real sense serial always drives when there is a constant conflict happening in the story. तो उनको अलग से कुछ स्टोरी लिखना पड़ा, एंड he stopped writing for serials, rather he started writing for something else, and that's how his graph started from here to here. But he realized now this is what he needs to learn and work on it. This is the real learning. Now, one more interesting question I want to share here is ask here rather. अगर मैं वो राइटर को इन दिस पीरियड, बिकॉज इट वाज द पीकेस्ट करियर ऑफ हिज लाइफ, इन दिस सिचुएशन उनको आके मैं अगर मैं बोलता कि यार देयर आर सिचुएशन इन लाइफ you never know what is going to come, and I want to learn something real here at this juncture, thinking about the possibilities that can occur, it may occur or it may not occur, but we need to be prepared for if something really happens, what is that you need to be doing in this career point of view, right? Now, अगर मैं उनको यहाँ बोलता, तो do you think he would have listened to me at this juncture, the peakest period of his life? I would have said him, now your health will be at a stake, and I want you to stop here, take care of your health, and start doing something about yourself. Guess what? He wouldn't have literally heard about. He wouldn't have taken my advice at this juncture. And typically, this happens with most of the people. Even I was part of it. I am no different than this, right? So now the objective of creating this video is we need to sit back at this juncture, think through about this scenario, and if this is what is coming and what is the real learning which we need to learn at this juncture, so that you will be taking care that anything that consequences happens, you should be rather prepared enough to take care of your life, right? So the context of creating this video, I wanted you to now identify about yourself, where you are you in the peak of your career and you are running? And this is where I want to caution you, sit back, think about it, and work on something else. So this is where the objective of this video creation is all about. I want you to think and be prepared for this scenario so that you will be not facing any you don't have to really face the bigger consequences in your life. Okay, I hope this video literally helped, and thank you so much, and take care of yourself. Thank you so much.